You might not be aware of the frightening creatures that live among us, and people have captured the worst of them on camera. Legendary monsters, mysterious beasts, and creatures so terrifying. They're hard to forget once you see them.
Oh my god. It's looking at me.
Take a look at this strange-looking creature. Despite its dog-like muzzle and the tiger-like stripes on its coat, it was neither a feline nor a canine. This was a thylacine, an extinct species.
Tasmanian tiger, easily distinguished by his straight, unjointed tail, is also a dangerous opponent.
And this was the last one ever filmed. This final footage was from 1933. After surviving for millions of years, the thylacine had finally gone extinct in 1936 because of humans hunting it. This species was a really interesting one because both male and female had pouches on them. They could even open their jaws up to 120 degrees wide, which is considered really shocking for a mammal. Cornfield goblin. A farmer in Jinotega, Nicaragua, had gone out to check on his cornfields, and that's when he noticed something moving among the tall stalks. There was a small creature with a big head, slender limbs, and huge ears. The sight shocked him because it looked exactly like the goblins from their old folktales. He didn't encounter it directly because goblins are extremely mischievous. So he recorded it from a safe distance and decided to find a way to keep it out of his crops. Saber-tooth tiger. This footage is extremely rare because it shows an animal that no longer exists. It's a saber-tooth tiger which has a massive body, huge curved fangs, and powerful front limbs built to crush its prey. These beasts were so ancient, they once lived alongside mammoths. And if you think modern lions and tigers are dangerous, consider yourselves lucky that you'll never meet this one.
Oh my god. It's looking at me.
The saber-tooth tiger was much heavier, stronger, and even armed with 12-inch fangs. But here comes the strangest part. These animals went extinct about 12,000 years ago. So how did someone manage to record this? I guess we'll never know the real answer because no other details were shared about this video. Unicorn discovery. A tourist who'd gone to the Western Cascades in Washington saw something truly shocking on a distant mountain. When he zoomed in, there was a horse-shaped figure with a single horn on its head. He rushed toward the spot immediately, even though the path was hard to trek. When he reached the area, he finally saw it up close. A pure white unicorn stepped out, trotted across the field, and vanished into the trees. If you doubt those videos, then take a look at this other footage where archaeologists uncovered a unicorn horn near the Indus Valley ruins. So, could these creatures really exist? Wild Pixie. In March of this year, a field ecologist working in Fiordland National Park, New Zealand, claimed to have found this strange creature. It had dark gray skin, and its eyes were even darker. The creature had no fur at all except for a patch of dark hair on the back of its head. It almost looked like a pixie. It kept trying to nibble at his hand as if it wanted to break free, but since it became extremely difficult to tame it, he had to release it and could not bring it back for study. Rooftop creature. In Monterrey, Mexico, people on the street were absolutely terrified when they saw a creature on the roof of a building. It was a pale creature with long, crooked, spidery legs and a huge, alien-like head. One look at it was enough to know this was not something from our world. It crawled across the roof and slipped out of sight. But then something even stranger happened. When they stopped recording and checked the other side of the building, the creature had vanished like it had teleported mysteriously. Living mammoth. This one's a real shocker. No one knows where or when this footage was recorded, yet it became one of the most reshared clips across platforms. The grainy video shows a massive creature walking through icy terrain, with a huge dark body and long curved tusks. It looked exactly like a mammoth, which was believed to have gone extinct thousands of years ago. These couldn't be elephants either, since they don't live in such cold regions. Since the footage seems old and unedited, many viewers believe it might be real, and that mammoths may still exist somewhere hidden from us. Griffin sighting. You need to take a look at this one. When a game reserve agent was patrolling inside Serra-do-Divisor National Park, he saw this hybrid creature in the distance. Its legs were like a lion's, its head like an eagle's, and it had massive wings. He realized it looked just like the mythical creature, Griffin. What shocked him even more was that despite working there for years, he'd never seen it before. So, he recorded it from a safe distance and shared the video with authorities. However, when they went out to search for it, they couldn't track it down. Two-nosed creature. A man from Chile was on his way to check a construction site when he spotted this odd-looking small creature behind the fence. It had dark fur and sharp teeth like a dog, but the thing that shocked him most was the nose. Instead of one nose, it seemed to have a double nose. He thought he discovered a real cryptid, or maybe some unknown species. So after recording it, he contacted the local wildlife service to report the strange discovery. But after one look at the video, they told him it was simply a dog with a split nose, a rare genetic trait found in a few special breeds. Fiery mystery. All these years, we have only heard stories of the phoenix bird, but maybe those stories weren't fictional. One night, a man noticed a bright, glowing figure on a pole. Its shape looked like a bird, but he assumed it was just light from a distant source reflecting off a bird. However, he was completely wrong about it, because soon the shape flared its wings and flew away. As it was flying, the glow slowly faded. He thought he might have captured a real phoenix, and maybe he had witnessed its rebirth, which could explain the intense light that only lasted a few seconds. Shocking reptilianoids. You won't believe what a scientist recorded in Siberia. He'd gone to a permafrost region to study the rate of ice loss due to climate change. That's when he noticed these two massive creatures in the distance. They had hump-like shapes on their backs, odd heads, and long lizard-like tails. The way they moved almost made it seem like they were trying not to be seen. The scientist could not tell if they were a hidden species or maybe something that escaped from an experimental genetic lab nearby. Either way, he quietly recorded them without drawing their attention. Dragon sea creature. While hiking through the Zhujiagu Valley in China, a traveler named John Smith spotted a bizarre creature in the lake. It was pale, with a head that looked unmistakably like a dragon, and the rest of its body was long and snake-like, but with limbs. Although he was used to seeing diverse creatures during his hiking trips, he was deeply unsettled by this one. So, Mark did not dare step in the water, and even avoided every water body in the area. Real Chupacabra?
A woman in Texas says she's found the legendary Chupacabra and has the evidence to prove it.
Is that an actual Chupacabra? A family in Ratcliffe, Texas uploaded a clip on the YouTube channel Ross Whitfield after finding this strange creature. The hairless creature was a dark gray. Its ears were and eyes were huge, and they thought it looked exactly like a Chupacabra. The family caught the mysterious creature and filmed it up close, and after seeing the video, it caught the attention of many experts, but they couldn't identify what it really was. However, if any of you know what this creature could be, let us know in the comments below.
Switch off the video and take a picture.
Creepy crawling entity. Someone from Ilhéus, Brazil, filmed a creature that shouldn't even exist. He was out at 10 p.m. when this terrifying pale creature appeared on the road. It was crawling on long, oddly shaped legs, and there were two long tails flowing behind it. It looked like something that had escaped from a nightmare. The cars stopped to watch as it crossed to the other side, but that's not all. Another person shared a clip that he'd recorded from his window. It showed the same creature crawling down his street. Before anyone could call authorities, it vanished and was never seen again. Elusive creature. Look at this creature breaking the wall apart like it was nothing. An Indonesian man was walking in his neighborhood when he suddenly spotted it, and it stopped him in his tracks because it was a true once-in-a-lifetime sighting. It was a pangolin, and these creatures are extremely elusive. Since they're great at hiding and are an endangered species, even wildlife experts rarely ever see one. So, as the armored creature kept breaking through the wall with its strong claws, the man quietly recorded the rare and shocking moment. Terrifying unknown bird. You're about to see the strangest bird encounter ever caught on camera. In Indonesia, when a man stepped outside his house, he found this giant bird, and its size was truly frightening. The bird had a long neck covered in reddish-brown fur, with long, dramatic white hair flowing below it. It even had really odd, bright blue crest plumes, and its huge red and black wings were massive. He knew his region had rare birds like the purple heron, but he'd never seen this one before. Since he was too scared of it, he simply recorded it and waited for it to fly away on its own. Dragon sightings. Nearly a decade ago, a man recorded something people thought only existed in stories. He was on a beach in Florida when he filmed a huge dragon-like shape forming in the clouds. You could see the long tail and the massive body drifting across the sky. But that was not all. In the same Reddit thread where I found this video, someone had replied with this CCTV clip from Delaware. A faint figure shot past the camera really fast, but you can still see a dragon-like shape. These videos make us wonder if the beings from old stories might be real after all, and maybe they're returning. Nuclear mutation. After the electrical grid failure at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant, radiation levels spiked across the surrounding area, and ever since then, the zone has been heavily restricted. But one day, a curious man slipped past the barriers. That is when he came across this thing. A slimy, veiny creature was crawling across the ground, and clusters of pale, pulsating orbs covered its back, each one throbbing like it was alive on its own. It looked like a terrifying mutation shaped by radiation, and he realized how dangerous that area really was. Heath Hen. This is the rarest footage of the last heath hens ever recorded. These birds had vanished in the early 1900s, yet these people managed to film one before the species disappeared forever. At first, these birds were everywhere, and they were hunted commonly, particularly due to their taste. But because of that, their population dropped really fast. Here's another interesting fact. The heath hen was one of the first birds America ever tried to protect. However, it was already too late to save them. Pinocchio lizard. The host of the channel Next Gen Scientist shared this eerie clip while exploring the cloud forest of Mindo in western Ecuador. He'd been exploring the area when something strange caught his eye. It was a Pinocchio lizard. As the name suggests, the creature has a long horn on its face that the males use to impress mates and warn rivals.
Does the males have this appendix in the face, probably for sexual selection?
Another unique feature is its ability to blend into the forest with its camouflaging skills. It hides so well that experts once thought it had gone extinct. The reason he was so shocked to find it was that the Pinocchio lizard is extremely rare and is considered endangered too.
It's one of the most weird lizards in the world so far.
Endangered bat. Some tourists visiting Indonesia stopped at a Kopi Luwak coffee plantation, and that is where they found a giant flying fox hanging right above them. They recorded it in pure awe.
Beautiful. Look at his claws Charles?
Yeah.
Aww.
I'm getting there.
As it dangled upside down and slowly flared its massive wings. But what they didn't know was that this was one of the largest bats on Earth, and also one of the most endangered. Its wings can stretch over 1 meter wide, and it plays a huge role in keeping forests alive by spreading seeds. Quite interesting, right?
Oh my goodness. Oh, look at him.
Pretty impressive.
Return of Quaggas. Are Quaggas making a return? For people who do not know, Quaggas were a strange type of zebra with stripes only on the front half of the body, while the back half looked almost like a brown horse. This odd mix made them stand out from every other animal. They went extinct in the late 19th century after surviving for thousands of years. But after many decades, scientists began working to bring them back. And what you see here is the result of that work. These are not the original pure Quaggas, but zebra lookalikes bred to carry their old features once again. Dinosaur sighting. Did these people find real Triceratops? The person who shared this video claimed he saw 2 real Triceratops in Ireland. If you don't believe it, and see it for yourself, the massive bodies, the 3 sharp horns, and the huge bony frill that guarded the neck and shoulders looked unmistakably like the ancient giants. He'd been driving from Cork to Killarney late at night when he took a wrong turn. That's when he saw these 2 giants that slowly crossed the road and disappeared on the other side. So, do you think this encounter is real? Black rhino. What you are looking at right now is a black rhino.
We're extremely worried about today's news, hear about the extinction of a subspecies, and we have grave concern for the rhino more generally.
And believe it or not, it is so endangered that one of its western subspecies has already vanished forever. In this video, an environmental lawyer named John Scanlon explained how serious the situation has become. He said the illegal wildlife trade worth $10 billion every year is driving these rhinos toward extinction.
It's also robbing local people of their livelihoods, so robs countries of their cultural and natural heritage.
This trade destroys local economies and even steals cultural heritage from entire nations. He warned that the rhino is an iconic species, and if we cannot save it, then many other species will be affected by its extinction. Extinct or endangered? In 2018, the researcher Forrest Galante and his team made one of the most shocking discoveries of their lives. They found a Pondicherry shark. If you're wondering what the hype is about, well, this shark had not been seen since the late 1970s, and many people believed it was extinct. After reports of some sightings, Galante went to Sri Lanka for his show Extinct or Alive to search for it. Finally, they managed to find a specimen in a small fishing village. Although it was no longer alive, tests confirmed it was the real deal, and now the species is officially listed as critically endangered. Unexpected dino sight. In 2019, when a family booked an Airbnb, they got a prehistoric surprise. They ended up seeing this unexpected creature lying near the pool's edge. It looked strikingly similar to a baryonyx, a dinosaur that lived millions of years ago. The family kept their distance and filmed it before sharing the footage online, but they didn't really explain what happened next. So we don't know if they approached the dinosaur or left after that. However, some viewers did say that the dinosaur could be a mechanical prop, which is why they were so calm. What do you think? Dino Transportation. You need to take a look at this video. In Mexico, when a couple was driving back to their village, they saw something impossible on the road ahead. On the bed of a truck, there was what looked like a huge creature strapped down, and it looked exactly like a dinosaur. They stared in shock because it didn't look fossilized. It looked strangely fresh. They kept recording it, but they could not follow the truck for long. So, what do you think about this? Were they hauling a movie prop, or was that an actual dinosaur? Prehistoric beast? When a fisherman was out on the Arafura Sea, he spotted this truly unusual, massive creature just beneath the water's surface. It had an elongated face, pale, textured skin, and a broad body. The creature even had a blowhole on its head like a whale. It clearly wasn't a crocodile, and it wasn't any kind of sea snake either. The creature swam past him and left the man with too many questions. He couldn't decide if it was a new species or some sort of a living fossil that survived ages. Serpentine Dragon. Now this one's really shocking. A wildlife photographer, Oliver Brown, had traveled to Redwood National and State Park. Just after dawn, a strange, bright light poured down from the clouds. He thought he was about to film a really cool sky phenomena, but then a long, dark figure began moving upward toward the glow. It slithered up like a serpent and slipped inside the opening. The shape looked like a slender dragon. In many old myths, dragons are believed to be unseen spirits that guide the weather, and Oliver wondered if he'd accidentally captured one of them. Takahi bird. Did you know that the Takahi was once declared extinct, only to return almost 50 years later? This bright blue and green bird with its strong red beak and stout red legs vanished from sight in the late 1800s, and the reason behind that was predators like stoats and rats. But in 1948, found a tiny surviving group deep in the Murchison Mountains. After the rediscovery, New Zealand launched its longest-running rescue program, and today, with just over 400 birds left, the Takahi is slowly stepping back into the wild. Trident tail beast. In Florida, when a man named Raymond Smith was near the Kissimmee River, he noticed an unusually huge creature moving in the water. So, he began recording it. When the creature's tail came up, he realized it wasn't normal at all. The end of the tail was split into 3 sharp tips. After seeing its strange form, he thought he'd just captured a mythical trident-tailed sea monster. Raymond had heard stories about the creature bringing down entire ships with its tail. However, when he showed the clip to his friends, they said it could be an ordinary sea creature whose tail was damaged by a propeller. So, who do you agree with? Dogman sighting? On the 12th of March, 2016, some hunters had gone to the Edwards Plateau oak woodland in Texas to hunt for deer. That's when they saw something dark rushing between the branches. Despite its size, it was moving surprisingly fast. They managed to record only shaky footage from far away, but the face looked like a canine, and it even ran like one. However, there were never any wolf sightings in that forest. So, does that mean they had captured an unknown cryptid moving through the woods? Perhaps a dogman? Hyrax discovery. Some geologists were digging a soil pit in the Kenyan Rift Valley to study ancient volcanic layers when they got a tiny surprise. They found a little Hyrax. It stared at them and let out its sharp, loud calls that Hyraxes are famous for. These small animals may look like rodents, but their closest relatives are actually the gentle giants of the forests, elephants. Since the pit was clearly the Hyrax's little home, the team decided to leave it alone. After all, they were there for geological research and not to disturb the wildlife living in the valley. Strange mutation? Viewers have no idea what creature this is. A zookeeper shared this footage after saying he'd found a strange animal in a nearby forest. Its face looked like a mix of a bat and a monkey. The fur was pale like an albino creature with sharp claws, while the huge ears were bright orange. He'd worked with countless animals in his life, yet he had never seen this creature before. So, what do you think this could be? Some experimental mutation? Or a wild animal suffering from a rare condition? Spider monster. Look at what a woman from China found on the Fujian beach. She had seen this strange black mass crawling out from the wet sand near the shore. As she went closer, she realized it was a strange creature with thick, spidery legs sticking out from every side. It looked like a giant spider, but it had so many legs that she couldn't even count them. The way it moved was really eerie, but instead of running away, she became curious and ended up recording the entire creature from every angle, trying to figure out what it was. Terrifying frilled shark. You will not believe this creature is real. You're looking at a frilled shark, a rare prehistoric predator that lives more than 600 meters below the surface. A Japanese fisherman had first reported an odd long animal with needle-sharp teeth, and marine staff rushed to film it. That's when they'd found this female frilled shark that was 1.6 meters long, with more than 300 hooked teeth arranged in many rows. It can even swallow prey that is over half its body length. Experts even believe that this creature must have inspired the legends of sea serpents, because it's just truly terrifying. Winged horse. Here's one of the most confusing videos you will ever see. It was said to be recorded in the village of Malakasi, Greece, by a farmer who claimed to be experimenting with animal hybrids. It shows a brown horse in a farm, with massive gray wings attached to its back. According to him, he hoped to create his own version of the mythical Pegasus. The farmer was never explained how he managed this, or if this hybrid horse survived for long. But the video does make viewers speculate if such experiments could take evolution to new heights. What do you think about this? Congo Motto sighting. In Central Africa, some tourists had gone to the Kasai forest when they recorded this truly unbelievable clip. They'd spotted a huge winged creature gliding over the dense trees. It had a reddish-black body, a long, sharp beak, and wide bat-like wings that looked almost prehistoric. What struck them most was how closely it matched the cryptid called Kongamato, which is believed to go after boats and frighten travelers. The creature is said to be extremely dangerous, yet the tourists managed to leave the forest safely. That's why some viewers think they weren't being completely honest with this video. What do you think? Fairy or insect? A person was walking through Kings Park in Australia when he spotted this unique and odd-looking winged creature. He picked it up because he thought he had found a real fairy. It was brightly colored with pink translucent wings and a blend of light green and teal across the top. The creature felt so unreal that he posted it on his TikTok right away. But viewers corrected him fast. They commented that it wasn't a fairy at all. It was a pink winged phasma, an actual insect that flashes its bright wings to startle predators. Baryonyx sighting. Here is a truly unbelievable video. In 2018, a man shared this clip from his trip to Capulalpam de Mendez in Mexico. The video shows a dinosaur in the distance. It looked like a baryonyx that seemed to be chasing him. He hid from it, and when the dinosaur couldn't find him, it slowly walked away. When he uploaded the video, he even shared the exact coordinates of the sighting. However, viewers from that town commented that they'd never seen a dinosaur before, which meant it could be edited. However, many others seemed to believe the video. Ghost of forest. Look at the reactions of two scientists after making a shocking discovery.
Hey, we get it! Holy man!
They were deep in Papua New Guinea when their trail camera captured a bird that no one had seen for 140 years. It was the black-naped pheasant pigeon. Since the bird had been considered lost for so long, scientists also call it the ghost of the forest. It walked across the ground with its bright red eye ring and strong tail. After recording this bird on camera, the moment changed everything they thought they knew about the species. Now it's time for the subscribers' pick of today. Look at this creepy creature that a man from Mpumalanga, South Africa saw. He'd been walking near a park when it appeared from the trees. It looked like a canine with a reddish coat of fur, long, slender legs that turned darker near the bottom, and a light-colored tail. Dark hair rose along the back of its neck, and its sharp face made it even creepier. The creature looked absolutely cunning and dangerous. He thought he'd found some strange type of cryptid and remained at a safe distance. But when he posted the clip, viewers explained it was a real creature known as a maned wolf. However, the species is never found in Africa, which is why the sighting was still very shocking.